Welcome everybody to a new installment of Project Gorgon on Cramit TV. We're going to be looking over the character creation and the tutorial cave for today's episode. To start off, as you can see here, this is the standard character creation screen for Project Gorgon. You have your standard choices, you have your races, 3 different races, human, elf, and Rakshasa. You have your genders, skin tones, and hair colors. Just to mix things up a bit, let's try a Rakshasa, and I guess I'll go male today. Let's see what colors options we have here. Again, for a game that's still in alpha, it has a decent amount of options here. How about pink? Purple, there we go. That's something you don't see every day, right? So once you create your character here, you just hit create character and go in. I do want you to note that even though there are only 3 race options here, you can create your character, log into the game, and still become up to 5 other different races. How this all works is with boss mobs and or potions that will turn you into 5 other playable races, which are pig, spider, cow, and werewolf. There is one 5th one there, but I don't want to give you all the information. You guys got to go out and you got to explore a little bit. So let's take a look and see how we go through here. So once you finish your character creation and load into the game, this is where you'll start off, which is the tutorial cave. As you'll notice, you'll have your ability bars down here at the bottom. You'll have your chat window, another set of ability bars, and then all of your menu bars and inventory. Definitely take note that there is a book in your inventory for you to read. Definitely worthwhile. That will go over one of the systems that is in the game that it's worthwhile to know about before you start doing anything. Now, as I've stated previously about this game, it is an open world sandbox. So this is going to be a game where it is not going to tell you what to do, how to do it, any of that stuff. The only thing it's going to pretty much do is say, here's a world, now you're in it. Take note of your map, and you'll notice that you're going to be a white arrow on that map, obviously facing or pointing towards the area that you're facing. So when you get in here, there is an NPC right at the front. Definitely worthwhile to speak with him. And as you also notice, there's all these items with these green glowing things flying up above them. These are all things that you can pick up and is worthwhile to. So let's just go see. I wonder what this is. Crude undershirt. Take item. So that's what it looks like when something is on the ground. And as you can see, people can put stuff on the ground in the same spot and it just goes over. So you can just keep hitting this and pick it up. Now if you want to drop something, as you notice, I tried to drop it off to the area here. It doesn't work. What you do is when you pick it up, you'll notice this area down here. Drop item to throw on ground. So boom, and it'll drop it on the ground. So let's keep going here. Let's see what happens. Now I can click on this and hit pick mushrooms. Boom, look at that. I leveled up my mycology and tells me how much experience I got towards my mycology. The other option is that the game does have a right-click option so that you can just automatically loot something by right-clicking. And again, you can watch all of that experience just pour into those skills as you do something. That's how this entire game works. Is as you do something, that's when you get experience for it. So I can pick up all this stuff. And you'll notice a lot of items will have something along this, where it has an actual line of text for you to read, and then you can decide what to do. I'm going to consume it just to be safe. Look at that. Another skill learned. Some more mushrooms. We love mushrooms. So let's talk to our gentleman here and see what happens. And again, you have different options to talk and find out different information about this particular gentleman and about, different things that he may or may not know. And as you can see, we just picked up a quest by that sound. And that closes the tutorial box. Another thing to take into consideration is up here in your top left-hand corner, is this is pretty much anytime something happens, it's going to notify you with a box up here. As you click out the box, it'll show up any other ones that you've gotten since the other one happened. So make sure to keep clicking and closing those windows after you've read them. That way, when something does happen, for instance, when you get a new skill, it'll pop up a box up here letting you know that you did that. Let's move a little bit farther into the cave and see what we can do. Also notice by default you will be walking. You can go into the settings and change that. By default, the shift key, left shift, is your sprint, and that will allow you to run. Again, look for these green bubbles that are popping up. So, according to this, I just picked up a sword, and it's letting me know that I can equip it by right-clicking on the item. So here we are, we find the sword, right-click, and that red E goes into the top left-hand corner, letting me know that that is something I have equipped. Also, if you noticed, previously we had the punch button down here, but now we also have the sword as well. You start off with both of these skills automatically, however, you obviously can't use the sword until you get a sword. As you're working through, you'll find even more mobs and different things to pick up that will increase your different skills as well as open up different skills for you. So as we walk up here, we'll see a notification in the top left corner that'll tell us we are getting ready to fight. Now, as you can see, this is an open world dungeon, just like every other dungeon in the game, so there are other players running around killing things. So you may have to wait for some respawns if you want to kill everything, but the current loot system is open, so if people just leave some of the loot laying around, you can literally select one of the mobs and be able to loot them to pick up anything that someone may have left behind. For instance, this person did leave behind an actual helm, so I can take that, even though I didn't kill the mob, and use it. So we'll just go here and again right-click, and once we see that red E in the left top-hand corner, we know that that's now equipped onto our character, as well as you'll be able to see it. So make sure to pick up everything that you see. That has really been my primary thing while walking through this area, is pick up everything, because everything can be used for something, if not for favor with different NPCs or quest items, but to be sold. So let's see how we do on a skeleton here. Now, as you'll notice, I do have my 2 ability bars, so right now I have my sword and I have my unarmed connected. The top bar is going to be all 1 through 6, the bottom bar is control. Now, as you noticed, I wasn't getting any XP during the fight, but once the fight ended, that's when all the XP went through. Because I did use at least 1 punch, I did get XP towards my unarmed, which now is giving me hick skill, and I've also gotten the parry skill from the sword. And again, we have the notification bars up here in the top left-hand corner of the screen. Parry, kick. And then it also goes over what rage does and how to look out for it. Again, once you've killed everything, definitely search corpse. There's some boots. I don't have any boots at the moment, so I'll take all of those and right-click and equip. Now, if I turn around here, as you can see, everything repops relatively quickly, especially here in the tutorial cave. So even if you miss some mobs or something along those lines, you can always go back and kill more to up your different combat skills a little bit higher before you leave the cave, just to make sure that you're ready to deal with the entire world. And as you run along the cave, there's going to be different things that you'll be able to do that are just going to kind of introduce yourself to the different systems. Now, as we can see here, there's another area here that I can turn off into. And it actually does go over the shift key and sprinting. Again, watching our pop-ups on the top left-hand corner of your screen. I definitely suggest to anyone starting this game to really take a look into the tutorial cave and look around as much as you possibly can. You're going to find all sorts of different things. This right here is a chest. We'll open this chest. And it's actually telling me that I've got a worn bow and several bundle of arrows. Take all of those and boom, now I have the archery skill. So again, exploring in the tutorial cave is going to be your best bet to get as many skills out of here as possible before you leave. But also know that you can come back to the tutorial cave at any time that you'd like. So if you do miss something, if something's too hard to get to, you can always come back. So don't feel that you have to do everything your first time through. And as you can see, with learning the new combat ability, it does give me a starter ability to help train up that ability. And as we're looking around here, there's even more things that I can take or read for different things. And again, there are other NPCs in the area, so definitely make sure to try and pick up as much as you possibly can and talk with everyone that you can. That way, any possible options of either finishing some favor quests or selling some items or picking up anything you possibly can to help you on your way. Now, one thing I definitely wanted to show you coming down here is the boss system, and you'll see what I mean in just a few seconds. This is the intuition system. You will see this come up on your screen anytime that you are near a boss monster. And as you can see, being it the first time that you see it, it pops up onto your screen with a little paragraph here as to tell you what's going on and why that's doing that. In this instance, I would normally continue to go and take a look, but in the thought of wanting everyone to explore, I'm not going to go down there, and I'll let you all do the explorations yourselves when you get to make your own characters. So again, just a little recap. Make sure that you take a look at everything you possibly can and pick up as much as you can and talk to whoever you can to really get the most that you can out of the tutorial cave. There is a lot in here. Some of the things, again, you're probably not going to be able to complete your first time through, so don't try and bite off more than you can chew. But there's a ton of stuff in the tutorial cave to do. As you move through the cave, you will come into this room at one point, and I just wanted to give you a little hint here. There are puzzles in this game, and this is the first one that you'll come across. The only thing I'll say is that these archways do have something to do with this chest, and it is definitely in your best interest to try and figure out this puzzle before moving on. So give it your best shot. After fully exploring the cave, eventually you'll come to this glowing blue thing, and this is going to be your teleport out. Definitely take note on how this looks, because these are going to be the different ways that you are going to be able to move through different dungeons and zones throughout the entire game. So get used to looking for something along these lines to be able to teleport to different sections of the game. After clicking on it, you're going to load into the very first zone short of the tutorial zone, and this is going to be where your first couple days of playing Project Gorgon are going to occur. I definitely suggest taking a look at the fort and or castle that we have out in the distance, and that'll be your new home for the foreseeable future. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and definitely take a look down in the different descriptions for web pages to take a look at more at Project Gorgon. Have a good one.